want to talk Manchester United. Šeško in. What does that mean for Rasmus Højlund? We keep saying it.
We do.
Keep asking until something happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, AC Milan, we know, have held talks with Manchester United over the signing of Rasmus Højlund. As yet, there is no agreement between AC Milan and Manchester United. Key to this is Højlund and what he wants to do. He, I think, has yet to decide whether he wants to go to Milan. So for now, Milan are now switching their conversations from club to representatives of Rasmus Højlund. They want to find out 100% for sure whether Rasmus Højlund is open to this move to AC Milan. If he is, then they can advance on talks with Manchester United, because it would just be a waste of time if they continued trying to get a deal done with Manchester United only to find that Rasmus Højlund doesn't actually want to go there. At the moment, AC Milan, their discussions with United have centred on a loan with an option to buy. Manchester United would prefer a permanent deal, or at least have a permanent element attached to any kind of loan. We think that Manchester United would consider offers of around £40 million. That can come in two guises. If they sell him permanently and the deal is £40 million, or if it's a loan with an option and there might be a loan fee, say, of around £5 or £6 million, and then the option price is then taken off what they would have paid for the loan fee, so around £35 or £34 million. So again, this is one that is up in the air, but I think it has been made clear to Rasmus Højlund not only what Manchester United's transfer activity has been so far, because they brought in Benjamin Sesko, but also their team selection, particularly in that game against Fiorentina. They left him on the bench. He was an unused substitute. Mason Mount played as a false number 9. And if that is not a message to say to you, you're probably not in the plans, I don't know what is.
No, indeed. All right. Who else has been linked with exits? We know the players. What's going on with Sancho?
Jadon Sancho, he's a player we talk about every day, it feels like, on the transfer show. So far, no real movement, but we understand the Besiktas are the latest club to explore the conditions of a deal and show interest in Sancho. The club's president was speaking and said that they're going to do their best to sign him if Sancho wants to join the football club. And once he emerged as a potential target, Besiktas fans have taken to social media to try to convince Jadon Sancho to join Besiktas. They've left more than 5 million comments under his most recent Instagram post. And if this does happen, I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done for Jadon Sancho to become a Besiktas player, but he would be reunited with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer brought him to Manchester United in 2021 for £73 million. So how fitting it would be if the chapter at Manchester United came to a close with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer helping Manchester United get rid of a player they've been looking to offload for a long period of time. Borussia Dortmund, they remain interested. As yet, no agreement with the club or the player. Clubs in Italy and Saudi Arabia are exploring the conditions of a deal. We know the other players United are trying to offload this summer because it could lead to potentially more incomings.
5 million comments. It's like after a transfer show, but not one of them any good. Right, Baleba. Can the United fans believe they'll get Baleba?
It's difficult. There's been no formal offer or formal approach from Manchester United to Brighton over the signing of Carlos Baleba. As we've been saying, even before Manchester United signed Benjamin Sesko, the focus has been on sales, or at least an assurance that there will be sales at Manchester United in the final 19 days of this transfer window. But it is understood that if a market opportunity was to present itself in Baleba, Manchester United want to be in a position where they can act on it. I'm not going to say that they want to be in a position where they can do the deal, just be in the mix to be able to act on it. But that is still feeling like a long way away at the moment, because it is an extremely difficult deal to do this one.
Why? Tell us why.
Simply because, number one, Brighton are going to ask for a huge amount of money. If you look at Carlos Baleba and his progress at the club, you could argue, from a Brighton perspective, it's probably gone quicker than it did with Moises Caicedo when he was there. They ended up selling Caicedo for £115 million. Brighton will probably say, well, if Caicedo went for that much money, why can't we charge over £100 million for Carlos Baleba? Especially because it's coming within the last 3 weeks of the transfer window. The new season is about to start. What would they do with regard to replacements? On top of that, he's still got 3 years left on his contract. Brighton have got the option of a further year. They don't want to sell. There's no intention to sell. They are under no pressure to sell either. But rather like the Sesko deal, Manchester United only went in and made their feelings clear that they wanted to make a bid once Sesko had given that some sort of encouragement that he wanted to join. I think that's what would have to happen for Manchester United to really make that first move. If they believed Carlos Baleba really wanted to come to Old Trafford, could they find a way? Will they find a way? Two very different things, because it's very, very difficult to raise that kind of money. As I mentioned, the contract situation is working very much in Brighton's favour. They don't need to sell. You're
right. It is a difficult deal. All right, we're going to take a break on Gianluigi Donnarumma. Is he really being considered by Manchester City?
I think we need to explain the situation first before we go into City. And it has put a number of clubs in Europe on alert that one of the best goalkeepers, widely recognised as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, is now available. Incredibly, is available. This is an interesting situation for a number of reasons. Number one, tonight's game, PSG against Tottenham Hotspur in the Super Cup final. Gianluigi Donnarumma has been omitted from that squad altogether. It was a decision made by the PSG head coach, Luis Enrique. The agent of Gianluigi Donnarumma has done an exclusive interview with Sky Italia saying how disappointed he is at how PSG have handled this. He has released a statement on Instagram himself as Donnarumma saying this is down to one person, doesn't name Luis Enrique, but clearly it is Luis Enrique. So not many people are pleased on that side of it. The other side of it, he has entered the final year of his contract. Now, this is a double-edged sword, one for the club and one for the player. He could threaten the club and say, well, I don't need to go anywhere. I will not be forced to go anywhere. I will see out my contract and you'll continue paying me £300,000 a week. So that's £15 million. If you don't want me to play, I'll be sitting on the bench.
Not in World Cup year, he won't.
That's the exact reason why PSG know they might hold the upper hand here, in that they know he needs to play. He will need to accept some sort of offer. Manchester United and Manchester City have both kept an eye on Donnarumma's situation. However, as far as we're aware, there's been no direct contact between Manchester United and PSG, nor Manchester City and PSG, nor with the representatives of the player. That is likely to change very, very soon because of the situation he finds himself in now. Add to that, Manchester United seem to have a full goalkeeping department at the minute. Andre Onana, Altay Bayindir, Tom Heaton, and look at the two people on this screen as well. Manchester City have got Ederson, and they've just re-signed James Trafford.
Don't forget Ortega's still there as well.
And Ortega as well.
It's worth looking at the Manchester City situation when it comes to goalkeepers, because it's our understanding that Manchester City want to keep Ederson, and Ederson is their number one, which in itself is quite interesting because they've had one pre-season friendly. Ederson played 45 minutes. James Trafford, who's just returned to the club from Burnley, he played 45 minutes. So that in itself, I think, is very interesting. There's been no formal approaches for Ederson this summer, though we know there has been long-standing interest from the Saudi Pro League and from the Turkish leagues as well. But if an offer does come in, then City will have a decision to make because of his contract situation. If Ederson was allowed to leave, they would be looking for a replacement, and Donnarumma is likely to be a name on that shortlist. However, it was really interesting. We heard from Julien Laurent earlier on today on Sky Sports News, and he's not so sure that Donnarumma would be a good fit for Manchester City.
Rasmus Højlund is now advancing in a move to AC Milan after being pressured to depart Manchester United against his will. While not entirely forcing him out the door, the hierarchy at Old Trafford has made it clear to the Dane that he would not be playing a prominent role if he stayed for the upcoming season. This comes after the arrival of a like-for-like replacement in the form of 22-year-old Benjamin Sesko, who's expected to be Ruben Amorim's first-choice No. 9 from the start of the campaign. Højlund, meanwhile, has publicly expressed on numerous occasions that he wishes to stay put and fight for a spot, although he's seemingly starting to realize that doing so would be more detrimental to his career long-term. In United's final preseason friendly against Fiorentina over the weekend, he did not feature for a single minute. United will have to accept a considerable loss on the £64 million they shelled out for him back in 2023, as his performances over the last two seasons have made it clear he's not, at least at this stage, a player of such caliber to warrant such a fee.